Ever chatted with ChatGPT or Bard and thought, how does it actually know what to say next? How does it remember context, switch languages, write poems, and still somehow sound human? To understand that, let me take you back to where it all began. Long before large language models or LLMs, we had simple rule based chatbots. They work like if the user says hi, reply hello, nothing fancy. Then came early neural networks like RNNs or recurrent neural networks and LSTMs, long short term memory, which were a big leap forward. They could read a sentence word by word, remember the past few words, and predict what might come next. For example, if you input cat is sitting on, a trained model would predict the next word as mat. Why? Because based on the data it has seen, cat and mat often appear together, giving mat a higher probability score than other words. Even today, if you ask ChatGPT the same, it's likely to respond with mat, not because it knows it's right, but because statistically it's the most probable choice in the context it has learned. That's the thing about language models. They're not understanding words, they're just really good at predicting them. But imagine if ChatGPT is about to predict everything, one word at a time. It is slow and sometimes it won't have the contextual depth that you desire. Would you like that possibility? Of course not. But early chatbots were kind of like that since they used models like RNNs and LSTMs, which process text one word at a time, step by step. It was slow and it lacked contextual depth. Take this sentence. Now, does with the telescope mean the man had the telescope or the lion? These models couldn't look far ahead or even far behind. They had limited memory. So, their understanding of a sentence was very shallow and could easily be confused. But then in 2017, everything changed when Google researchers dropped a groundbreaking paper titled Attention is All You Need. And they were freaking absolutely right. This paper introduced a new architecture called the transformer. Unlike RNNs, transformer don't go word by word. Instead, they read the entire sentence or even a paragraph all at once. They use a mechanism called self-attention, which lets the model assign importance to different words based on their relationship. So, if we take the sentence, she poured water into the cup because it was thirsty. Here, traditional models will probably get confused, but transformers use attention to figure out she was thirsty, not the cup. This ability to understand relationships and assign weight to words is what laid the foundation for modern large language models. Self attention didn't just improve models, it transformed them. Now that we understand how transformers flip the script on how machines process language, let's break down how large language models or LLMs actually work behind the scenes. Say you're texting and your phone suggests the next word and you get options like blue, clear, or cloudy. That's autocomplete. LLMs work the same way, just at mind blowing scale. Their single job is to predict the next word, one after another, until it makes a sensible sentence. But here's the twist, it's not just guessing blindly. The model looks at all possible next words and assigns each a probability score, then picks the most likely one. These scores are determined by billions of adjustable weights called parameters, sort of like knobs on a giant audio mixer that tell the model which words make sense together. How does it learn these weights? Through a massive training process called pre training. It goes like this: feed the model mountains of text, books, websites, code, social media posts. Ask it to guess the next word. Compare its guess to the real answer. Adjust the weights using a method called backpropagation. Repeat millions of times. Over time, it gets really, really good. So good that it can string together entire paragraphs that feel like they were written by a human. But at its core, it's just still predicting. But before it can even start predicting, there's a catch. LLMs can't understand words, they only work with numbers. So the first step, turn words into numbers. This is done using embeddings. Think of it like this. Each word or chunk of a word is turned into a long list of numbers called a vector that represents what that word means based on how it shows up in different sentences. In this world of vectors, king and queen are close together, so are doctor and nurse. You can even do math like king minus man plus woman equal to queen. That's the magic of vector space. Meaning becomes geometry. Now, once these vectors are created, the model doesn't treat them equally. It looks at the surrounding words and dynamically adjusts each word's vector using self-attention. That's why the word bank in riverbank doesn't get confused with money bank. The model is constantly asking, which other words in the sentence help me understand this one? And that gives LLMs their deep contextual understanding. After pre-training, the model is fluent, but it's not always right. It might still say biased things or just make stuff up. That's where humans step in. Through a method called reinforcement learning with human feedback, also known as RLHF, we teach the model to be more helpful, safe, and aligned with what people expect. Here's how. Humans rank different answers the model gives. The model learns from that feedback. It adjusts its behavior to prefer better responses. It's like training a puppy with treats, only the puppy is made of code. That's how a raw language model becomes something usable like ChatGPT. That was just the beginning. Today's LLMs are multimodal. That is, they can read images, listen to audio, even generate music and videos. Some advanced models use a strategy called mixture of experts. Instead of one giant model doing everything, they use multiple smaller experts and pick the best ones based on your question. Another major leap, retrieval augmented generation, RAG. That means LLMs can now fetch information from outside, like the internet or a database, to give more accurate real time answers. Now they're no longer limited to what they were trained on, they can look things up too. But even the smartest LLMs have flaws. That is, they can hallucinate, which basically means confidently making up things, mirror human biases from the training data, burn through insane amounts of electricity. They also raise real ethical concerns. Who owns the data they were trained on? Can private information be slipped through? Should we trust AI with sensitive tasks? As AI becomes more powerful, the big question becomes, how do we make sure it works for humanity and not against it? That's a different story to cover for someday, but I hope this video and the breakdown how does LLM work help you understand the very models you use in depth. If you've liked this video, do make sure to enable that like button and do subscribe to Intellipaat's YouTube channel to come across more tech related videos like this one. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.